No. So I'll just cover this a little bit. Um, yeah, I'll look at NZD Chef in a minute, Dan. Just babble on about this 5 minutes. Just gonna mute you, Steve, I think, mate. Might be Isaac, actually.
Was it me? Sorry.
No, I think it was Isaac's mate. Isaac, mate, sorry. Yeah, I could just hear some feedback, that's all. Obviously, if you got out to say, lads, just turn it off and jump in anyway. It's not an issue. But obviously, I took this Monday. It tapped me Monday. Um, yeah, tap in there Monday, early hours Monday. Uh, so the reason why I took it was, and it's obviously come back and taken it out since, and filled a lower imbalance. So obviously, my thinking was I had this whole area here marked as a point of interest. I'm just going to delete. No, sorry, it was this one. Yeah, so this was my original point of interest because this is the one that took these equal highs here, and then obviously it broke the high of the last touch of liquidity. So this return here was my first imbalance fill. So I assumed that this was my first touch, and then obviously it's come back later on, and then obviously it's filled another imbalance in this touch down here, which is why I was trying to buy from here. I pretty much took the maximum out of the trade as well. I'm very happy at where I put my TP because it literally, as you can see, it was not much above before it reversed. I think it was late Friday. My TP was hit. Yes, around about half 2, 3 ish, like that.
You even boasted about it.
Yeah, it's I don't, to be honest, like because I originally I was setting my TP around about here because, and I'll tell you why, is because this this sort of area here is possibly the cause of this trend line being taken. So I originally thought that it might come somewhere in there and reverse, but then I see a couple of nice juicy bits of liquidity in here. Not liquidity, sorry, imbalance. And then I thought it's more than likely going to want to take those equal highs here as well. I'll just delete this. So we've got equal highs there, equal-ish anyway, thereabouts. And then I thought, well, if it's going to take these, it's going to want to fill an imbalance just above, and in there was the most likely suspect. So as you can see, there's a nice big push away here.
Yeah.
Obviously, I set it just below. I mean, if I was looking for an entry, I suppose my entry would be a touch higher, but obviously allowing for touch of spread, that was why I went just below the actual imbalance fill. So, and I'm imagining this is what it's actually tapped into and reversed into. So we'll check and say possibly a couple of little ones here, but obviously I played it safe and I made the right decision. So I'll see what if that is the high the imbalance it tapped into before reversing. No, touch higher still. So yeah, played on the safe side anyway. So very happy with that as a TP.
Doesn't matter, mate. Take the profit.
Yeah, that's it, mate. It's like I say, I'm happy to miss a trade. I'd have been a bit annoyed if I was just shy of TP and it reversed because I'd have been taken out. So by now, so well happy with that. Obviously it's a good enough reason to set a TP there as well. Like I say, there's equal highs, swept them. Obviously, if we extend that, possibly create another trend line there actually. Thereabouts, close to. you get the idea in a way. So yeah, sweep the liquidity, possibly go highs here, sweep, and then obviously it's with a sweep. Obviously, it could reverse, it could continue, but it's a good point in the market where something could happen. So that's why I set it there in a way. And the lowest of the 3 or 4 major imbalances was around there, so it was pretty much the one that I thought it was at least going to reach. Could have well taken the sell as well. So obviously you see here it's filled an imbalance, broke 1 minute structure below here as well. I was debating taking the sell as well. So that would have been a change of character there. Obviously we've got a structure forming up here, breaks it here, and then obviously it mitigates something here. But I thought it was possibly going to go higher still anyway, so didn't bother. But it is what it is, obviously. It don't matter. And then obviously it's since turned round and created liquidity on its way down for it to take out as well. And it's reacting out of a nice imbalance just below. Obviously, I had got these two imbalances marked. It's filled the lowest one. I think it's still going to go down, to be honest, because it's still trending downwards. So it's trending really nicely at the minute. Possibly a new high, so a new lower low maybe. So trending real nice. It trended upwards nicely as well, to be fair, for that entry. So, but we are seeing bearish structures form as well. So I think before I look to take anything else, I'll maybe wait for a big shift to the upside. So we've got structure wise at the minute. So we've got high up there. We have broke this low here, so this is a new forming leg, depending on what it does next. So however low that goes, see if it pulls back and then takes the low again. Obviously, it'll be continuation. If it takes this high, obviously that's a major higher time frame break up here. So, but we might pull back soon once it fills something in here. I mean, I would half anticipate it coming into quite high into here, possibly. This will be a point of interest that I mark, which I'll do now. So, point of interest now, purely because that's taken a trend line here. This was the cause of it somewhere. We can probably reduce it, but what I would actually do is I'll mark that and then I'll come on and I'll drop straight to the lower time frames, up straight onto the seconds in and around this area, and then mark up any major imbalances. So these ones like this will be ones that I would hope price comes back and reacts out of if it does come back this high. Obviously, I'm assuming when I'm marking these, you can sort of understand why I'm marking them. Obviously, it's a nice, decent candle. I'm not too keen on these sort of candles. It's a good push, but I'd much rather it be just one explosive sort of candle. Whereas this looks algorithmic, too almost too neat, I guess. Um, yeah, so I'll leave it at them anyway, and then obviously I'll set alerts on them and wait for something to happen. Catch up to normal price. So that's that point of interest marked and the imbalances around it. Just delete some of this stuff. So obviously that's that trade. Obviously that's point of interest, first mitigation of imbalance, entry. We have possibly come down, obviously filled some lower imbalances, which I'll just show you right now. So as you can see, it's literally filled this one here, and that's what it's caused a reaction. I don't really see anything lower than that. Don't know what that is. So yeah, if this zone fails, if that zone fails, I imagine that the whole blue zone will fail. Could be wrong, obviously, but but yeah, if it comes back down now, I imagine if it takes this low, I think it's coming at least till this zone. This will be the same again. It's the same idea behind the point of interest is equal highs here. This sort of area is what caused it. I assumed that this was the first mitigation and this was still part of it. So, but I might be wrong. I didn't mark these originally, so we could well come back into something here and buy up from as well. We'll take a look. I don't want to focus too much on Bitcoin, but seem to be. Yeah, maybe this, but it's not big enough for me to want to just take an entry off it. So definitely wait for a change of character, a 1 minute change of character on anything from here. And then obviously we've got the actual origin of this whole leg. So higher time frame, 4 hour plus structure is we've possibly got.
It's consolidation, isn't it?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it depends what sort of time frame you're looking at.
Yeah,
I often
that's
say we've
always
got,
the always does.
yeah, there's multiple structures that are going on. So obviously at the minute, that's what I would class as maybe 4 hour or even daily. Um, there's not much between them, I imagine. So that's sort of the structure we're looking at. So we could we could come all the way down to this wick low here before I'd say we are bearish. Um, but yeah, very much sort of sideways at the minute. But yeah, this is. I think I originally had an entry mark this mark down here as a buy when this took all this lows here, but it just never come back. So it could well come back to that soon, which it looks like it might be. I'm sure there was real good trend lines down here as well. That one there. Yeah. It took the lot anyway, whether it's not perfect, but there would have been a lot of people that would have had stop losses under that. So, like I say, we could well come deep into that and then mitigate something real low, continue up maybe. And we have got trend lines and targets to possibly aim for. That's still valid. It's not been taken yet. So we might get something like that. As long as it don't take this low, could be on a pullback and then continue to a new higher high. It would be good to, like I say, this obviously the bottom. I think I covered this before. So bottom 25% of that would be ideal for a buy, which is from this line here, which is where that entry was. It would be ideal for long-term buys. It makes a lot of sense. So higher time frame structures anyway. That's obviously important. It'd be nice to obviously I'll probably keep an eye out for me 4-15-1 system in this, to be honest. So when it gets down there, or if it gets down there, I'll wait for a maybe even wait for a 15-minute break to the upside. So obviously this is like 4 hour structure. I'm just going to delete that a sec. So as you can sort of see inside the higher structure, we have smaller structures. Turn that different color, turn that orange, and make it fatter. So these, I'm a big believer in these sort of like, I'll call them pinch points, but I don't really know. I don't know if that's what I would. And that really makes sense here for that sell there, actually. So if this is my 15-minute structure, obviously this is the overall high on the 4 hour. So high up in the 4 hour, and then when the 15 turns bearish. So if this is the low for the 15, that low there, I'll turn that blue. No, I'll turn it black. Delete some of this so we can see. So this black line being the 15-minute low. So as soon as price breaks that, which we have here, which we have, obviously it continues. This is all internal, all this stuff here until this does this, breaks the low here, pulls back high into this 15 and 4 hour pinch point. So this, I think I'm a bit annoyed now that I haven't actually spotted this. So
Describe again, Lee, what you mean by pinch point.
so
Thanks.
yeah, pinch point's probably the wrong phrase, mate, but it's the only
No,
I can
I
think
know
of.
that, but
But
we're just trying to figure it out, aren't we? Yeah.
yeah, no, it's definitely some. It makes sense in my head to just I understand it, but trying to get out
Yeah.
in weird. So we've got a big time frame here. So the red one's 4 hour or daily, and you can see this sort of
Yeah.
like bearish structure, bullish structure. Sorry. So we've got 15 minutes inside this, which is the orange structure inside the 4 hour. So the big one's red, slightly smaller time frame is orange. So obviously this is zigzagging up, and it's a major high. So when we then break it on the 15, obviously our 15 is like one of the. It's obviously we would wait for a 1 minute first if we was trying to just catch a small sell. But once the 15-minute breaks, after we get a break, we often get a retracement to mitigate the order block that causes the break, which will
Yeah.
be obviously where my TP was somewhere where my TP was on the buy. So now that this leg breaks this low, so this is a 15-minute break to the downside, then we come up high into the 15 and the 4 hour high. So we've got two, obviously it's coming to there somewhere, obviously. So when I say pinch point, we've got a high on the higher time frame, and then we've had a
Mhm.
break on the downside on a lower time frame. And it's all happening in this sort of area where we've got a major high and a lower time frame
Okay.
high
Yep.
created and then a breaker structure. So
Yeah.
this is, I mean, this is basically my 4-15-1 system. This would be your higher time frame. You get a 15-minute break to come back mitigated. It's done a 1 minute, so it would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, 4-15-1 would have been something like this, and then obviously we've had a imbalance fill 1 minute. So obviously we could even go one further with these pinch points. So this orange is 15. There'll be a 1 minute
Yeah,
structure point going on in here as well. So, and then obviously once everything aligns, once we've had a 4 hour break under here, 15-minute break, and then a one, obviously. So when I say pinch points, I just mean points where your higher time frame is pulling back effectively. Your 15-minute then aligns with the pullback on the time frame,
yeah,
so bearish, and then obviously the 1 minute also aligns, and then you've got the potential for huge moves.
yeah.
But basically,
Thanks.
it's just this, mate. So obviously, because I've drawn the higher time frame,
No, that's cool. It's cool.
we're expecting a higher time frame pullback, and then
Yeah,
when the lowers line up with it, which is this
yeah.
point,
You're getting the time frames are lining up basically. Yeah,
yeah, basically, mate, yeah. And like I say, with your, I mean, it'd be nice where if price comes down here, and obviously this orange line, so the 15-minute time frame continues. Let's say it pulls back soon, does this, comes very low into this structure here. When that then breaks on a 15, and if we can then get a buy from there, this would be like a pinch point because we're at a higher time frame low, and then
yeah.
when the 15 lines up with the overall higher time frame structure, so it's just the pinch points are like the higher time frame structures where the lowers start to line up with where it's sort of going.
Mhm.
I'll maybe try and think of a better phrase for it, but like I say, that's
That's all right.
all.
It's all right. No, it's kind of like a high activity zone, or I'm trying to think of something better for it.
Yeah, well, it's high probability. So obviously, with
Yeah,
structures lining up. When I say pinch, maybe it's
it's just busy, isn't
just
it? It's a
yeah, it's
busy
just where
area.
it's just a point
Yeah,
where because stuff's lining up. It's a very high probability sort of zone sort of area
yeah.
place, you know.
Yep, yep.
But I
Cool.
mean, obviously that's 4 hour and 15. The same will work on like the 15 and one, and then obviously if you can align all three up, you like say you end up with massive
Yeah,
trade possibly.
yeah.
So
Thanks. That's cool.
yeah,
Thanks.
yeah. So it's like it's always worth trying to map out like the multiple time frame structures because if you're
Don't think I could ever draw a chart up like yours. I'm gonna have to find a different way, but that's okay.
well, I don't know, mate. It's I'm sure you can see the
I
structure.
under, I understand it. I just see 250 lines and blows my
Yeah, yeah,
brain up. I'm a words
yeah,
guy, not a pictures guy. It does me in. I've
yeah.
got to find
Well,
my own way through that stuff.
yeah. Well, I mean, I leave a lot of this stuff up for everybody else, do you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of it gets
Yeah, of
deleted,
course.
and
Yeah.
but yeah. So yeah, somewhere down here, definitely get somewhere around the amount. So if you can, like I say, if you can draw 4 hour
Yeah.
15 structures, and if you get a
Yeah.
1 minute break somewhere in here after it fills an imbalance that we really like, you get a 1 minute break to the
Yeah.
upside,
You're cooking.
then we are possible. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's only probability, but if structures are anything to go by, like I say, we are
Yeah.
pulling back, and then possibly new high. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty annoyed with myself that I haven't spotted this. Like I say, that major break there. I even took my entry after it broke it, so you know,
It's all right.
yeah. But obviously, it makes real sense now. I said I was thinking of selling it, but
Yeah. It's always easy in hindsight.
yeah. I've only mapped this out for you guys, and then obviously it stands out once I've done it. So yeah,
It's a
so yeah,
craft, not a science. It's a fine. It's fine.
yeah. I think I think it's an experience thing a lot of the time, mate. As well,
Yeah.
it's like there'll be like you guys probably think I'm a bit of a wizard at time, but I've just spent hundreds and thousands of hours just like looking at charts and trying to figure stuff out. That's all it is.
The only wizard that we know is Ali.
The wizard sleeve.
You're a wizard, Ali.
Yeah, definitely, guys.
It's like
It,
it's like if you showed a Stone Age man a helicopter, they'd go,
yeah,
"That's
yeah,
black, that's magic."
yeah,
But
yeah.
no, it's not.
Ben the
It's millions
witch.
of hours of work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, Ali is he still pulls out charts, and I have no understanding what he's actually
Oh,
talking about half the time
fuck
myself.
knows what he's on about half the time, but it makes
Yeah,
sense to him.
it does,
Yeah,
yeah. But he pulls out winners all the time, and
yeah.
but it does make me think like because I look at
No
Ali's
one
chart
ever
and go,
says they're losers, though, do they?
No, that's the thing. You're not seeing the P&L. You're just seeing the wins.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm
Got to got to show your
pretty
P&L.
damn honest with mine, to be fair. But
Yeah, I think so.
if it weren't for the group, I definitely wouldn't be posting about it, like just because of the position I'm in. But um, it does make me like question my own I look at Ali's chats and think, what the hell have you seen there?
Hmm.
I then wonder, like, are people looking at me going, what the fuck's he on about? Do you know?
But he obviously he works with quite a lot of the divergence and stuff, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah,
And I think there's one thing that he does where it comes down to imbalances where he did show me it one time,
yeah,
and he'll basically just mark it X. I think, and it's like down to where like a 15-minute imbalance is it hasn't been touched,
yeah,
and then the chart just goes the opposite way, and he'll just enter off that. I think.
yeah. So I think we often find the similar trades because we was both looking at Euro Ward a couple of times. I think it was Euro Ward.
EA's been putting out some beauties lately.
Yeah, it has, mate. Yeah, I'm a bit upset by this one still.
I've um
That's
I've been eyeing them up, and I think I've like gone, oh, that's definitely something happening, but I haven't actually marked it up. And then when I go back and look at it, it's like it's gone, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
mm, yeah,
You know
it's
what the most important thing is with Discord is don't try and follow more than one person if they're doing different things.
yeah,
It's very, very easy when you're new to this to see that person does that and that person does that,
yeah.
and I don't understand any of them.
I don't do any of that, obviously.
Yeah. What can I say? I'm not. You're a special zone, my friend. I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
even go in there.
The good thing
Um.
is I can multitask in trading.
Oh God. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a real benefit.
maybe, mate,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say that, but you're having a pretty hard time recently, so I think it's up
Yeah.
for debate, definitely.
Yeah, it was up for debate, yeah. But it was nice. It was quite nice having that break and getting my head back in the game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You've got to have it, I think, occasionally. Otherwise, you're just going to keep chasing your tail.
yeah, yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah, but yeah, I think I can't remember which one it was. I think it was one over here that me and Ali was both looking
I
at.
know.
What I said, obviously he's looking at like the higher time frames a lot more than I am, I think. But
At least trades always seem to be blindingly simple,
yeah, I think
but
so.
and obvious to him, but they're not to me. So
Yeah, from what I could tell, we often catch the same trades where obviously I wait for a 1 minute break of structure or change of character, whatever you want to call it. He seems to wait for the next swing to be broken and then get in a lot of the time. That's what I noticed. A lot of what Ali's doing. So I mean, he might be. I'm waiting for say a 1 minute. He might actually wait for a 15-minute break. So that might be why he catches the later swing, I guess. Well, yeah, it's a wizard at
think
times.
I think he tries to stay off the 1 minute. Me, we're telling me that he sometimes gets lost on the 1 minute, so he likes to stay on
Yeah,
like the 5 and the 15 and stuff.
yeah, yeah. I think he said the other day that he's not really going below the 15 at the minute. But I think like when you are trading, I mean I've definitely did used to do it a long time ago. You sort of start focusing more on certain things at different times throughout the year for whatever reason. I think maybe if you catch a couple of winners and like say if he sees divergence and they're the good winners he's catching, he's then focusing more on divergence than he normally would have before for a period of time maybe.
yeah,
But, but yeah, it's
I know.
yeah,
I know how he
definitely
does
on
it,
his
and
stuff.
also builds bathrooms at the same time. That's
Yeah, yeah.
multitasking, Stephen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's most people in the group, to be fair, but I think I don't know how we all manage it, to be fair, because it's screen time's pretty much
Yeah,
frowned upon in the industry as well. Do you know, you get caught on your phone on site,
yeah.
it's you up for ridicule and things like that, but we're all just trying to better our lives, I guess. But But yeah, so I think did I take a loss on this earlier in the week? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I took a loss on this, didn't I? But again, it's the same as the Bitcoin, so it's trending upwards as we can see. Trend line build of liquidity taken. Trend line build just before it, sweep, break, obviously mitigating the imbalance. 1 minute break to the upside. Entry, just go down a touch.
Is this one that played out, Lee, as you was analysing why it had lost?
Yeah, so
Thought
this
it
was
did.
the entry I took here. So obviously it's built with something that I was happy with. Broken to the upside. I think we went over this on the what sort of one-to-one we was on in the week, mate.
Yeah, yeah, we did.
Change of character there possibly, but I was dubious on this. Very, very dubious on this as a change of character. It takes this here, this high that there, it does take it, but I was unsure if this should have been my change of character. So when this was pulling back hard, I did wonder if that was me change of character, the entry could be anywhere between uh, so from there, that candle there, the actual entry could have been anywhere from this candle to this low. So I actually took a second. I took a loss on this, and then I took because I was only half risk anyway, and I also had an entry just below here, um, which also lost. It got absolutely obliterated, but it is what it is. um, so yeah, I thought that was my entry, and then obviously there's a couple of imbalances lower as well still. So this is the fair sweep. Obviously, it sweeps again later on. So yeah, when it was pulling back hard, I wasn't too worried because, like I said, I thought it could come lower still for the actual entry because of this change of character that I was questioning. But I mean, this went 1 to 10 anyway. I mean, I had it marked up a lot higher.
It's going to be a bit improbable at the minute when it due to the
Yeah, due
orange
to
man in America.
politics, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it reached one pretty bang on 1 to 10 there. It reached. So I mean, I was debating taking it at this point when that happened anyway, because we was on that was the Zoom, weren't we, when this all played out, that
Yeah.
happened. I should have maybe took that and then thought about getting in again if it comes back, but it come back and then obviously it's filled more imbalance to the left. Change of character here and then tap this, what would have been an entry. But I was like, as I say, I was looking at where it possibly went wrong. The actual screenshot I posted was, I think price was about here.
Yeah, that's about right.
If you look at the photo, look at the screenshot of why I
I
say
was following
it's
it. It was
there.
about there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But you
So
didn't
yeah,
do
and
necessarily
then
anything wrong. Stuff just
no,
sometimes
no,
it just
yeah,
doesn't work out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think because obviously we're talking like 5, 10, 15, and even 1 second imbalances. Like the lower you get, the more imbalances there is. But obviously, some are far better than others. Like every aspect of looking at a chart, I guess, and at any time frame. So I mean, it's quite often we're gonna obviously it's done everything we wanted to do. It's touched a point of interest. It's filled an imbalance, taken liquidity again. It's bullish overall. Well, it's been bullish higher time frame for a while since December, I believe it is. So it was nothing wrong. I'm not annoyed that it lost or anything. It was a good trade as far as I'm concerned. It maybe just wants to come a touch lower. It maybe even wants to come lower overall. But I mean, I'm sure Leon would have covered this on his lives. Like if if you do everything, if you're following your training plan and you lose, you don't care because you just know it's part of the process. If I would have if I'd have not followed my rules and just taken anything and then I lost, I'd be annoyed, you know. Then maybe you open yourself up for like possible revenge trading at that point, you know. But as far as I was concerned, it was a good setup. Um, you could maybe say greed got the better of me, I suppose. But I mean, I still think it could possibly come up here anyway.
It looked all right to me, Lee. I'm no expert on any of the simple systems, but it looked all right to me.
Yeah,
And also,
yeah,
to my mind, coming from simple strategy, when a 2-hour win is manna from heaven, then 10-hour is amazing.
yeah. I'm fully aware. I still believe, mate. So I mean, I'm not journaling anymore because I don't I don't need to do it anymore. I'm beyond that. Which is weird because when you don't want to do it, you need to be doing it. When you get so far, then it just becomes irrelevant almost, unless you're trying to still like maximize rewards and things like that. But like, I'm pretty good at like obviously finding points of interest where things might reverse from anyway. I do that for my entries. It's just the same for exits as well. It's the same process in reverse. So, like I said, I don't need to journal because it's not really relevant for me now. I'm not trying to go from catching like a 4 or 5 R anymore. I've already maximized the system to allow a possible maximum return. So journaling to me now is a bit irrelevant, really. But as a trade, it was bang on. Like I say, it's just doing its thing. You know, it's no big loss. Didn't over risk. So it's not harmful to the account taking a few losses. Would probably take about 40 odd to be fair, be okay still. But yeah, follow it, having your rules and following them makes losing a hell of a lot easier. And then if you follow your rules and you're still blowing accounts, then maybe the system's slightly off and you need to look at what needs to change. So, um, but yeah, this is I'm sure it's higher time frame bullish anyway. Again, obviously there's a 415 one from the down below. Stuffed this up to be fair, but again, obviously it's actually bearish, but I can't see it going much lower at the minute, to be honest. But again, you can see sort of like structure wise, we've started coming down here. Draw it out actually. I'll talk pinch points again and make it confuse everyone. Possibly not that there. Go straight to that one there. So that's how I sort of see structure at the minute. Maybe this one here actually. Let's do that touch. So from there, we do sort of break the low, this low here, pull back, redo the whole thing. So high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Break on the 4 hour possibly here. Pull all the way back. So because this is the high in the last live leg, we break it. So then we pull back. We don't break this. So I'm looking for the lowest point after this leg, so which is possibly this here. This is confirmed. This leg here is confirmed when this breaks this high. So all this is possibly just 15-minute structure, which is fine. But on the 4 hour, until this gets taken by this is still the live leg. So that's 4 hour. We'll talk possible pinch points again. That'd be difficult actually, but so the times are a bit better. Just check that message. 4:51 now. We'll check it out in a minute, mate. So structure wise, this is very difficult, but obviously we get a break above here. Obviously this is my higher time frame, so this is where my 15-minute break would have been. We possibly get Yeah, break there. Possibly get this sort of trending down. So we get a break. We don't break it again. Obviously the low, sorry. Break here. We break that. Turn that orange. Structure's bloody hard to read at times. So we possibly get it break from here. So obviously you've got a high there. This leg takes it. Possible pull back. I think that's where roughly where we're up to, yeah. So we might have had a break here anyway. So if that's anything like structure, it might not be. But we've had a break under here now. So break, we could well see a buy up to somewhere in here. Hopefully a top 25% before maybe a continuation down because we've had a possible break there. So that's pretty much what I was looking for, a buy anyway. It could open, it would continue. Well, that is bloody messy. So obviously with structure, it's not always 100%. It's not like anything in trading, but it's a good guide, like a lot like most things. But if you can put a few of them things in your favor, then obviously that's better because you're just putting probability in your side. Is there any questions, guys? I know I'm just gonna go look at NZD Chef.
I won't bother, mate. I looked at it wrong.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, there's no there.
Well, I'll take a quick look anyway, mate.
Yeah, I will look at the top zone, but that's the wrong place. There's SMT going the other way. Yeah,
Yeah,
conflicting confirmations as such.
yeah. Yeah. Well, we're downtrending anyway. I think we're on a pullback. It's sort of in this middle 50%, but if it comes up here, possible good sells on there, mate. But because it's in that middle zone, it could do anything, I
Yeah,
suppose.
I looked at it completely wrong. I had a quick look. I went, oh, that looks all right. Then when I had a proper look, I went, that looks shit.
Yeah. I think we've got equal highs there. So, yeah, equal highs there. I was just looking because I know we're on the 4 at the minute, but if and I know obviously 4 and 15 structures are sort of high. Uh, and obviously we've just equal highs at the minute, aren't quite broken, but because it's set equal highs here, this could be what causes this to then be taken. So if that if price now obviously comes up, takes these equal highs, then at a break, then our structure will become that effectively. So sells possibly from up here to come and mitigate. What's that? Go back. Yeah, if it comes and mitigates some up here, we could get sells down to somewhere in here to then continue long if it's gonna because we've had a break. Obviously we've not broken the overall low here, so yeah, it's this. I think this is why the middle sort of 50% is dangerous because
You can go either way, can't it?
yeah, it could just go down now and not break the high. Um,
The
yeah,
other
it
thing,
could
right,
take
though,
the
I agree
high
with
and
what
then
you're saying, though. It's going to go up. The SMT is showing it's going to go bullish short term. So
yeah. And to be honest, mate, don't hold me to this, but we might have got a sweep on Thursday. We might well get a mitigation in here, mate. Just check that none of that's 10 o'clock spread hour. No. 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 So, so it's filled an area that I quite like the look of. Straight up to 10. So it's filled just after spread hour. That one's spread hour. Also spread hour. So I'm just thinking out loud at the minute, so just bear with. Spread hour there. So it's possibly filled the start of spread hour price. I hate spread hour. Hate it. Like that as well. The overall logo, so it might not come that deep. Got a break, change of character as well. Character there. Obviously, this is what started the move. Puts a new low in. Change of character. So I'll have a deeper look at what it's tapped into and around that spread out. But we've got a nice 1 minute candle here. So this could come and mitigate this tomorrow. Buy up to take them equal highs. That's spread out again in it. So is that even sweep? Oh, spread out, spread out. So that price section is spread out from what's there to yeah, maybe not. I don't. So all that price action is spread hour and anything in that box. So this is the low still, not actually broken as far as I'm saying. Yeah, it's not something I'll be taking. I think it's coming lower still.
You'll
But
totally
it's always
disregard
worth
spread hour then,
checking
Lee.
out. Yes, mate. I do only because it's FXCM.
Okay.
So as far as I'm obviously it's not always the case, but it just makes things more risky as far as I'm concerned. But as far as I'm concerned, this whatever's in that blue box hasn't happened
Okay.
because this is broker related. So if I'll tell you what, I'll go look at forex.com. Forex.com. I'll look that up a little bit. Still FXCM. Is it not any bit? For God's sake. Why? Why is it not working? There we go. Oh, here we go. Now see, it has happened on forex.com. What I have to find is this so obviously on the FXCM feed that sweep doesn't often happen on other feeds, so
Mhm.
That's why I often disregard it, mate. But it has on this occasion. So, um, yeah, I don't know. But what we've got to remember is as well is the price action that happens between 10 and 5 past at least anyway is the market is actually closed for that 5 minutes anyway. So who knows what the price is? We just get a feed of what I'm assuming what the company believes price to be at um anyway. So but yeah, it's actually closed. So when we see this, mate, I think this is just a broker filling in the difference sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
so
This
because
is,
it, so go on, mate.
I was going to the zone I spotted originally, and it was the last 15-minute high
Yeah,
tapped into this. But then, so when I looked at it further, I was like, nah, I don't particularly like it anymore.
yeah. It's a
That last
shame
little
because
50-minute up leg.
it was looking like a decent little, possible decent little setup, really. But
Mm,
once you start throwing in, like I say,
spread.
spread hours and
Yeah,
things, it's just enough for me to turn around and go, no, just can't be asked.
yeah.
See, these on this one, these are not really equal highs. This is almost a mitigation with it being this one being a touch lower. So this could have mitigated an imbalance and it could sell off from up here. That's an option on this one. Let's go back to the other one, see what's. Oh, no, this one's the same. I'm sure there was more level before.
They moved on you last week, though, didn't they? Remember?
Yeah. It's quite a regular thing. They're definitely getting worse. Yeah, it's not sure, mate. I know it hasn't taken this high anyway, so
Hmm.
at the very minute, I'm still saying bearish. But
Yeah.
if they are seen as equal highs, it's likely going to take them, which is then obviously a change to the upside. So it's a waiting game. So that's all this is for me at the minute. But like I say, there's possibly a buy from in there, but I would say it's risky. Um,
No, thanks for taking a look anyway, mate.
no worries, mate. I'll take a quick look at NAS as well for Stephen.
was wondering when you would get to me.
At
I
least I haven't forgot you, mate. That's the
know.
important thing.
Let me get
Saves
my
the best till
charts
last,
up.
Steve. Saves the best till
Well,
last.
That's it.
exactly.
So I'm assuming you're thinking, mate, just at a gander is a buy at least. So
Usually he signs off the moment his question is answered, is asked. Because sorry, got to put the kids to bed.
Yeah, I normally ask a question and just disappear.
Yeah.
time frame. So I'm just going to drop a couple of time frames. I'm assuming it's a buy you're looking at, is it, mate?
It is. What candle, what did you start roughly that zone? Just so I'm on the 4 hour chart.
Yeah.
I've got like Monday, 13th of January, roughly that sort of area.
What is your higher time frame on?
Yeah, 4 hour.
Yeah.
Is it roughly the same? Just trying to.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I would start it from back here. So we've had this zone break up here, come back mitigated. This would be a 15, which is done, say here. We've had the one possibly, which has definitely broken the one. So it might come back and mitigate something here as a one. That's sort of at a glance how I would be looking to market, I think, mate. But
Uh,
as long
yeah,
as you look,
I think I've done a 4, a 15, and a one from those three spikes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah, obviously, I mean, we all view it very slightly different anyway.
So
But
that
like,
that last one was actually probably the entry then, wasn't it? And it's actually gone.
well, it depends what's in there, and I think if I think rightly, mate, this would be, do you know the entry that George took on
Yeah.
Dow? That probably lines up with this, mate.
It
So
yeah, it that makes sense now because you've gone back a zone, haven't you? Not a
yeah,
zone. You've gone back a low,
yeah,
shall we say, and that actually makes sense now. So if I was one low back, that actually would have been the entry there. Bugger.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes
yeah.
sense.
I'm assuming, mate. You see this little wick down here.
Yep.
I'm assuming that was the entry after the 1 minute shift. So no, maybe not. Maybe not. There, maybe, possibly. Very slack though, but possibly that. We have got three green candles there, so that is maybe it sort of meets the rule for structure, but
Yeah.
it's lapse, very lapse. Yeah, I don't think I'd have taken that myself to be honest, but like I say, it does sort of meet the rules. Fucking huge candle there, that might be a giveaway. Um, what's that? Which one? What's up with that? But yeah, just with George's setup being around the same time, mate, I'm assuming it's
Yeah, probably that makes sense now.
yeah. I'm
Because
assuming he.
you were one low further back,
Oh
if you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Something like that is possibly. Obviously, I'm assuming you guys can see that. Obviously, there's an imbalance here. Obviously, there's a
I'll keep
massive
an eye
gap.
on it still though, just in case.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Might
You
get
might.
might come back retrace for an entry again.
Yeah. See if them two imbalances would have.
I'll be holding it up to the 200 level.
Yeah. Yeah. Two.
The 3,000 level. Don't tell Cam.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this obviously I said that stab down might have been the entry. It very well might have been this, mate, and the 1 minute was up here. Not looking far enough. I think the one would have been up here looking at the price action. So yeah, this this would have been the possible entry.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm saying that's probably about played out, mate. But there's
cool.
what I mean. It's filled this gap here anyway.
That's what I wanted. Previously was that gap to be filled.
Yeah,
So I've had my eye on that gap. Like so, basically, once that gap opened up
yeah,
and it come down and swept, I've had my eye on that from that low to come back up to that gap.
yeah, yeah.
I think I might have had a markup actually. Don't think it wasn't a 415 one though.
No, no, quite. So I'm just trying to look for like a relevant point of interest for you, but there's not really because this is such a sharp push down.
Yeah,
I would have said like if there was liquidity that it had taken in if this was more sloped, then because I mean I'm fucking stuttering here. So we've possibly got a bit of a trend line going on here. See this trend line there,
yeah,
3 or 4 touches. This is the cause of this to be taken. So obviously you've got a consolidation ish here. Big impulse takes the trend line. So
yeah, yeah,
I'll extend that. Yeah, so this is the cause of it, and then obviously breaks its structures, whatever as well, comes back, mitigates what was the cause of the trend line. So if we had a trend line somewhere up here, and
yeah,
say this caused it, then
yeah.
I would say we might well come back into there and buy up. But
Yes,
but obviously because there's no trend line in this because it's so sharp,
yeah,
there's no trend line that I can see where it's gone. Yeah, it's going to possibly pull back into there, do you know?
What about you see from the low where you put the 15?
Yeah.
If you was to do like a trend line from that bottom, uh,
Yeah.
so from there, that's it, and then and then go through those other candles where roughly the 1 minute zone is. Yeah, so roughly there
Yeah.
potentially. I don't know, not too sure really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've sort of, if you flip it on its head, so
Yeah,
this is possibly the cause of that liquidity being taken because the move starts here. Bosch takes it, and it's possibly
yeah,
just mitigated it. So now it's it's on its way to target, possibly, like I say, something possibly here because
yeah,
this might be
yeah.
liquidity as well. Yeah, I
Just
mean,
have to keep
I
an eye
think
out
I
for some
think I've,
news.
yeah, I think I've covered like reasons for points of interest quite a bit over the last sort of like couple of weeks.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and literally like just order blocks or bankers candles, supply and demand zones. Obviously,
yeah.
they're all slightly different takes on the same sort of areas, if you like. But whatever you use is that them zones that lead to liquidity being taken. So, like I say,
Yes.
we've got this up here, which is why it's possibly hit it and reacting out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe on the 15, we might be able to find some form of trend line somewhere to then go. It's coming down into this zone maybe because quite like the look of this zone anyway. So let's say if we've got it's not quite equal highs, but this causes the equal highs to be taken, so it might come back and mitigate into this for continuation.
Yeah, okay.
So obviously, if you start focusing on like your high, obviously I'm out of these on the 4 hours, so they're only rough, but the fact that this took that liquidity, you can then almost sort of like start to see where price will pinball to. Do you know?
Yeah,
If this took liquidity, it looks like there might be a trend line here.
yeah. That I was just eyeing that
This
up
might be the
then.
cause off. So
Yeah,
if that does take it in the end, you can maybe start thinking, right, price is going to go mitigate that. Then it's going to, they might even break a structure. One of these might be a structure that it breaks, and then it might come back and mitigate that, and then continue to the downside, or
yeah, yeah.
you know. But yeah, like areas that cause liquidity to be taken are very prominent areas for
Yeah.
things. So obviously, I'll go back to Bitcoin because we looked at it quite a bit earlier, but and I know it's a fucking shit show at the minute because of all the
Doesn't know
lines.
where it wants to go, does it?
Jesus, that chat is a joke, but
Yeah,
but like I say, this zone here caused this liquidity to be taken. This zone here caused this liquidity to be taken. Mitigate straight away that one. Come back, it's mitigated. That's where I took my buy from. Just come back in, mitigated, and it looks like it's about to be taken, but you get the idea. Like zones that take liquidity. I think Euro JPY is probably the cleanest I've seen in a long, long time, or if not ever.
yeah.
So I think I showed this last week. So this blue zone causes this liquidity to be taken, comes back, mitigates it, break a structure, mitigation would have been a good buy. Buys up this zone. This zone here causes this liquidity to be taken here, takes it, comes back, mitigates it even higher or further down the line. This zone causes this trend line to be taken, breaks, takes it here, comes back, mitigates.
Oh, mate, I've just started looking at this in a completely different way now.
Yeah, like this zone causes this liquidity to be taken, mitigated
Yeah.
here, then this one takes this because it's a major low. This zone takes that, comes back, mitigates it.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate, I haven't thought about looking at it like this until now.
Yeah. I think like it's definitely worth like looking into. Even if you go on like a blank chart, just go on the
Yeah,
4 hour and go
yeah,
just go back a couple of weeks or whatever, a few weeks, don't look at current price, But I mean, this is why I was looking at this area, because obviously this took that liquidity and it's led to this being taken. Possibly
Yeah.
bullish highs, bit of a trend line going on in here. Come back, it's mitigating. It might not actually hold, but I mean, I think I might have missed this play out. Yeah, see, it's played out. Come back, build an imbalance, change a character, mitigate an entry. It's not a major move, possibly, but
What the hell is Bitcoin doing?
well, I
It's
mean
dropping now.
that's a
It's
possibly 23 fold, do you know?
yeah. Wow.
Just because you, like I say, you jump on, you go, right, what zones taken liquidity and is it still been untouched, basically? And then that's at that point is when I'm going, right, I'll buy a replay just before, then you can look at the imbalances on like the lower time frames. I'll say seconds, which is what I do. Mark the imbalances in and around the box that you would draw, and then wait for them to be tagged. Set alerts on them, or just before. Because obviously, because I'm marking imbalances on like the 10-second or whatever, sometimes price will be like a pipette short of the actual imbalance fill, but it's still filled. If you obviously don't set your alert just before it, you might not get the alert and you might miss it. But yeah, it's definitely worth just going on a chart, mate, and just going somewhere. Even this that trend line is definitely wrong anyway, but something like that. This causes that to be taken, mitigates here. It's just everywhere, mate. Just liquidity. Yeah, zones that take liquidity. Let's see if I can find any more for you. Because it'd be good if you can go away and go, yeah, I'll work on that.
Yeah, very right.
Yeah. But obviously, this is your award. Trend line here. This zone here causes it. Obviously, I've marked from the imbalance up here.
Broke it.
That's what caused it to be taken somewhere from this low to that imbalance created.
Yeah.
Comes in very deep, breaks above it here with that high, comes back, mitigates an entry, and then that's gone turbo since, do you know? I think it would have been like a 3 pip stop loss, thereabouts. 83 fold.
Did you take that?
No, I took the loss on GBP AUD.
Oh.
I was looking at the both, and I took GBP and that one. I
We
think
did
we went
go
over it
GA,
last
that's
week,
right.
actually. Yeah, so yeah, it just wicked me out. I've moved it since because there was an imbalance that I didn't spot just below. But it's the same thing. Trend line. This is the zone that caused the sweep. It's done its thing, filled an imbalance, 1 minute change of character, bought up since. It's 81 fold to where it's at, you know. But again, so we've got a trend line. This is possibly the cause of it. So it could well now come back into there, 1 minute change of character, whatever.
Yep.
Buy up for a bit higher time frame structure. So we had a deep pullback. If this pulls back into here, we might get a new. Well, it might take this liquidity before it actually takes the higher high, but you get the gist. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, 100%. There's definitely something you need to practice, but yeah, as soon as you started saying that, I was like, hang on a minute, I've just started figuring out more of what you're doing now.
Yeah, it's I mean, there was this one. I was a step behind on this one, but trend line, sweep, there's an imbalance in here just before where it sweeps, mitigates it, you know. Obviously change the character under here as well with a sweep, mitigates sort of trend line here, so it could well come back in here. This will be a point of interest for me now.
Yeah.
Possible trend line sweep as well. So it's there. Oh, that might have been from that part of the trend line. But yeah, you get the gist, mate. So
yeah.
This is how. I mean, I suppose because this might actually sell off for where it is now as well because.
Well, I can see another trend line actually from that entry.
Taken, so
can you see the trend line from that entry up the top?
This one.
Yeah. So you got a trend line up there, actually.
Yeah, across there,
Yeah,
possibly.
that's what I was looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, there, just swept it and possibly breaking down. But obviously, this, if we, because obviously major highs and lows are liquidity
Yeah,
points as well. So we've possibly got that as a liquidity point. So high and low. So what call is that to be taken? We're up here, aren't we? So possibly the start of imbalance there. Obviously, we're on the 4 hour. We could maybe reduce it if we wanted to, but that high to the start of imbalance being created is becomes our point of interest possibly. So we've had a sweep possibly, and we broke to the downside. We might get a
yeah,
mitigation for an entry to a continuation. I'm not saying we will,
no,
obviously I've not looked at it, but
potentially, yeah,
something like that
yeah,
possibly, and then we possibly get the same arrow low from there is anyone's guess, but
yeah.
this is how if you figure out the points of interest and where's best to find them, then obviously we could come higher still as well because we've possibly got some liquidity in here as well. But this is why I don't need to spend all day every day going. I don't need to check all of this for thousands of 10-second imbalances because I can go, I like this area, mark them in and around that. I like this area, mark them in and around that. Yeah. And then once you're about there, mate, you're flying. Yeah, look. So this is taken that, so it obviously it could come higher still. So obviously, but you'd mark if you see any like liquidities in here that take your eye. I wouldn't be setting an entry on that if this was part of a trend line or something. So
Yeah.
it's just the whole thing's, and I've done the education videos on it as well.
Oh, cool.
I've only done like I think there's 4 or 5 videos with trend line there, so a trap, and then that makes sense for it to come into this area where it's swept this liquidity. So possibly, probably up there more likely. But obviously the market's only made up of possibly 4 main components, which is obviously the market's always doing one of 3 things, which is creating liquidity, taking liquidity, and rebalancing the market. So imbalance is one of the main factors, or one of the 4 components. Liquidity, so equal highs, equal lows, trend
Yeah,
lines, major
yeah,
highs and lows, and so that's creating obviously imbalance. Structure is another one, and finding these points of interest. If you can, well, that's obviously how I'm trading just off them four things. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, it don't need to be anything more than that. Obviously, people add in like indicators and things, but from a pure
I think
price action
once you can start
perspective,
doing trend lines and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff, like if you've got an eye for it, then you start picking it out quite easily anyway.
yeah, absolutely, mate.
Yeah,
It's just
practice with that
yeah,
sort of stuff.
yeah, and that's what I said earlier. It's an experience game, so
Yeah, yeah,
experience is practice. So
yeah.
yeah, it's nothing.
Cool. I'm gonna go back a couple of weeks and start practicing some of that you've just showed me just then, some more of that.
Yeah, no, it's just before you're not on to. Is Steve someone else?
The different Steve.
Right. So he's got a question about GA. I'm
I
just
will.
gonna.
I'll disappear.
Yeah. All right, mate.
All right.
Yes.
Have a cheers, mate. See you later.
No worries, mate. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. Bye, bye. Bye.
What's your question, Steve? Mate, I'll just cover it quick before I get going.
Hey, mate.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. You?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
So if you go back, can you go to GA?
Yeah.
And you were speaking before you've got your, like, if you come back to today's sort of pricing,
Yeah.
you were marking out how
Oh,
it
sorry.
might
Wait.
come back
Sorry,
up.
that broke up a touch, mate. Can you say that again?
Oh, you've got that you've got the change of character there,
Yeah.
and then you've got that it's coming down, sort of bullish.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that it might come back up
Yeah.
into that lower time frame POI.
Yeah.
Could you not, if it did come back in there, could you not do the reverse of what you've indicated and maybe take a trade with it to go down into that lower
Yeah. So
POI?
yes, absolutely, mate. So I think it's possibly done it though. So that
So even though it's in that zone of the lower time frame
yeah,
POI, it doesn't need to meet the same or like very similar numbers.
no. So
Like
what it's already from the entry I would possibly be looking at to take, obviously. So from a structure perspective, obviously we are from here to the left of where my cursor is.
yep,
Obviously, it's creating higher highs, higher lows. So
and
I'll
that
draw it
big
out
long
for you,
wick on the
mate. So
29, that one, that's an
yeah,
imbalance, yeah. It's not a
yes, mate.
break. So
No,
it's
no.
throwing it's bank generally SMC like banks throwing the big money in it.
Yes,
It's not a
absolutely.
break that you see in between candles. Okay.
No, no. So obviously, yeah, that's imbalance, mate. But
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's about filled. So I'd say we're at a point now where the market's got to make a decision on what it wants to do because obviously this is major money on that imbalance. I'll just delete that orange thing. So that's being filled. So with the banks of, well, the market's got to make a decision whether it's going to go continue up or it's coming down. It might, if it's going to come down, it might also come up to then go down as well because obviously it never moves in a straight line because we've got structure going on. So from a lower time perspective of structure, this is sort of how I'm viewing structure. To that about that really.
Because they're sort of equal highs, so to speak.
Well, there's equal highs
similar.
there, and then that sweeps into it. But the sweep high becomes the structure high because it takes all this.
Yeah.
So I've missed out this high and this low because this one that is possibly another structure. So that's possibly another higher low, then a higher high. But this this change of character takes that low and that low anyway, and obviously the next one. So we've definitely had a change of character as far as I'm concerned. So, but the next point is it might have just wanted to come and fill this imbalance. So this is why I say it's now got a decision. So it's probably going to cut.
Is this
So,
where you would classify sort of the CMT
uh,
consolidation bit? So where it's filled that imbalance,
yeah.
and now it's
So
kind of just deciding on what it should do.
yeah. I mean, obviously, I said obviously that I think it's coming lower anyway to that lower this lower zone here. I do think it's coming down there. Obviously, I might be very wrong. Obviously, it's just pure speculation, but this is a favourable zone for it to come and do it from. So this zone here takes this low here as well, which is a structure low. So this causes that. So and then it's gone about, done its thing, mitigated something it wanted in here. It's now doing the exact same play, possibly here. It might still want to come higher still, but obviously there'll be lower time frame imbalances in this. If it's filled one that it's after, obviously I can't tell you exactly which one it is because obviously I'm not a banker, but
Exactly.
if we assume this high that swept liquidity on the 1 minute or whatever it was, if we assume that that's filled the imbalance it wanted to target or the price level it wanted to target, we're then obviously going to wait for breaks to the downside, which it does here. So this closes below this low here. So once we start swinging to the downside, we've had a break to the downside. We've got, obviously, this is at the minute, this is like a 5 or a 1 minute structure. Its next target will be a 15-minute structure, which is possibly this. So the structures obviously get bigger the higher the time frame. So now I'd say we are pretty much at a 15-minute. This is possibly a 15-minute structure point as well. So my 15-minute would be something looking like this. So now we're at a pivotal point. It's broken it on the 1 minute up here. If it breaks this, which I would really love it to, if it doesn't, then we could just get a new higher high. So red structure is one possibility.
Yeah.
And then
Would you
obviously
expect a lot of liquidity from that 15-minute where your
Uh,
cursor just was? Or maybe where your cursor is now? Like just sitting there and possibly the
Well, I
background for
like
the retail
I,
investors?
I like that we've got equal highs here, and then it sweeps it, and then we start breaking to the downside. So from if you was really aggressive, like I mean, I consider myself to be an aggressive trader. No, that's wrong. I consider myself to have aggressive entries, but I never take anything that I'm not really happy with. So I wouldn't say I'm an aggressive trader,
You
but
follow
because
your
that's
plan, yeah.
yeah. So because this has swept liquidity and it's possibly filled a major imbalance in the point of interest that I'm happy with, and then we've started breaking lows, this could now just start trending downwards. But obviously, there's key points on multiple time frames where it might struggle or want to test and then continue up. So the 1 minute's gonna swing relatively every sort of few hours, possibly. 15 minutes going to do it every day or two, maybe. The 4 hours going to do it every week or month or whatever. So these, with the higher time frame, the higher the time frame structure, the higher the strength of it. So the 4 hours more powerful than the 15. So you should always almost work from the higher time frame down rather than down
Yeah.
to up. So because the 1 minute could change character willy nilly, this might change it, but then it might fail on the 15. So if it fails on the 15, this red one's what I'd expect to sort of see.
Yeah.
If it does the same thing and it decides to break below this low here, I would then expect a pullback into something maybe in here because there's a 1 minute entry here. That's what
Yep.
this little green box is here. So it might come back into there and then continue trending downwards on the 15. And then obviously the next target would be the 4 hour swing lows, which would be somewhere down here. So this is obviously why I say structure is like a major thing, but it's also very difficult to learn. Obviously, I'm trying to teach it, and I still find it difficult myself, even though I'm probably the best person in the group with structure.
Right.
So, but it's just one of them things that
Well, it's
oh,
never going to follow the same pattern twice, is it? Sort of
no,
thing. It's
no,
always going to be
no,
different.
yeah, and it's like anything, mate. Nothing's 100%,
Yeah.
but if because I'm trying to teach it to be very simple. So I've shown you why the point of interest is there. Obviously, I've not marked any imbalances, but just as a simple entry, obviously this is on the 1 minute. This is the cause of what causes the change in character, and then as you see, that's what it tags in for an entry, and then
Yeah.
obviously, so keeping it simple, point of interest, lower time frame breaker structure here, mitigation of a entry, which is usually the same reason you would find a higher time frame point of interest is the same on the lower on the 1 minute, and then obviously you would once this changes character here, I'd be saying you should be setting a pending at the area where you want the entry to be, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then I didn't take this. I've had very little chart time the last week, so I didn't really see any. I didn't really look, but I've marked this for a reason. So I must have looked at it over the weekend and gone, I'm happy with this green box being an entry zone, and then after that 1 minute change of character, break of structure. Obviously, that would be pending as soon as it does break below here, and then obviously it's gone about and done its thing. I don't know how far it's gone, but I'll check and measure. So it's reached 28, 20, a possible 28 to 1, just shy of 29 fold.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know how long you've been in, mate, but I'm posting this thing. I'm posting the exact same setup week in, week out, and I've been doing it for like 2 years. You know.
Yeah. So this is my literally second month, sort of.
Yeah.
Second or third week, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be um there's going to be new education videos going up, mate. So I've like I think you would have heard it before. I think I've only done 4 or maybe 5 videos, but it's all there's only 4 things that I consider you need to like learn and maybe not master, but have a real good understanding of. And it's all pretty simple stuff. So, like I say, it's
Are
just
they in the
inbound.
Discord?
They will be going up on the website, mate. I think
Oh, okay.
they've got the videos, but they're like editing them, so to cut out all me stuttering and stumbling and coughing and all that sort of jazz. And I was a little bit poorly when I did it, so there's probably a lot of coughing to get out of. But like, I mean, if you got a pen and paper there,
Yeah.
so write down imbalance,
Balance. Yep.
structure,
Structure.
liquidity,
Yeah.
and then hyphenate, creating and taking.
Yep. Yeah, I've been watching Jason's vids
Yeah.
on the website.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jason's very good, but I mean, I only watched a couple of his videos. Obviously, I've taken over from Jason, and I owe him a lot. But
Yeah, they
I
they're
don't
from,
think that they're not the clearest as far as I've been told that they've got like a few complaints about his videos not being clear enough, sort of thing. So
yeah, look, I mean, admittedly, they were in 22 or 23 or whatever, so obviously
yeah,
pretty new for everybody.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a good starting point, but then at the same time, you can complain, but you do have to do your own
oh,
work
absolutely,
as
mate.
well.
Yeah. I would say that to everybody anyway. Like, obviously, I've been posting these setups for, like I say, months and months and months. But
You've been posting them on the Discord,
yes, mate, in the
right?
supply and demand section, yeah.
I'll flick through that.
Obviously, if you go um I mean, do you use the Discord much?
Oh, I haven't really, because obviously it's a lot to take in.
Yes, it
So
is. Yes,
I'm
yeah,
trying to I'm trying to watch the videos. You know, I'm
yeah,
actually doing a builder's course at the moment.
yeah,
You know, I'm trying to get on I'm in Australia, so I'm trying to get onto these lives that are at
yeah,
different times for me, obviously.
yeah,
Go through the Discord, watch the video. Yeah, just
yeah,
go all of it. But I'm going to try
yeah,
and get in more and more because as I understand a bit more,
yeah,
because I already feel that from the 2 or 3 weeks I've been doing it, I'm understanding a lot more
yeah,
already.
yeah,
Like even when I first watched a couple of lives, you know, you might have yourself or Leon or Sean talking,
yeah,
and I'm sitting there just scratching my head, going, "Oh, I'm way out of my league." But I'm actually able to have
yeah,
I'm actually able to have a conversation with you about it now.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
As opposed to just going like, I don't know what's going on."
yeah.
But I'm starting to get it.
Yeah, that's good, mate. That's good. Well, I mean, I would definitely push you towards a Discord anyway, because all the live sessions are recorded and then uploaded in the relevant sections in Discord, so you can watch old lives as well.
Yeah.
So I'd definitely push it that way, mate, because
Yeah, I'm going to
yeah,
hit the SS1 chat shortly and
yeah,
start going through that. So just to make sure I got the four things you said: imbalance, structure, liquidity, both create and take. And was there
yeah.
another one?
And obviously points of interest. So
Yeah, all right.
yeah, points of interest, mate. So they're the four videos I've sort of done, and I obviously will be up short like within the next few days, hopefully. But if you could sort of like master that, almost master that, mate, you don't need anything else. So
Right, cool.
yeah, but yeah, obviously the liquidity is just trend lines. Obviously, that's what all these lines are on my chart.
Yeah,
I'm assuming, so that's creating, taking is where price passes through it. So I'll see if I can find a real nice, clean looking one for you because we
when
don't
you
want to make
have the LTFs, are they like below an hour, or are you talking 15 minutes and under?
So for me, I mean, it's each to their own. I mean, when I say lower time frame, I'm talking like minute and below, to be honest. But I don't
Yeah,
like people think I'm crazy because I look at like the 10 second. I don't push anybody to do it because it's probably not for beginners. But essentially, when I look at a 10 second time frame, I'm just looking for an imbalance, which you can
yeah.
spot on the four. It's the same thing. Like if I obviously there's big imbalances on this. We're on the 2 hour at the minute, so there's
But
a
if you're
huge
throwing an imbalance in a 10 second, obviously
yeah,
that's a lot of cash being thrown at it,
yeah. So
and somebody's got a plan.
Yeah. So I believe, mate, that the market's made up of tiny imbalances rather than we've got a huge one here like this. We're on the 2 hour. There's 3 or 4 candles of a big push, but
Yeah.
this yellow line here that I've got marked here, obviously there's an entry off this. I didn't set an entry on it. I didn't set a pending, but I had the thing marked. I was waiting for a break and a retest, so and it didn't quite come high enough. But I realised afterwards that I should have set a pending on it because I had the break fit. I had the break here instead with this big
Yeah.
push. So I'm just going to drop to 15 just so I know I can get closer to the imbalance I'm looking for to show you. So obviously that's a huge push on the 2 hour, 4 hour, even on the 15. It's like quite a lot of big candles. So I'll show you that line there, mate.
Yeah.
Now we're on the
Yeah.
10
So it's a
sec.
big push
So that's
down
a
in
huge,
10 seconds.
yeah. So there's what 3 candles there, but that first one's not really imbalanced. So these last two here, 20 seconds. That moves relatively nearly 10, about 10 pips
Yeah.
in 20 seconds. That is massive. So if we can find these sort of things on, like say, the 10 second, then as long as prices following in a structure perspective, if we take liquidity, if it's following structure, obviously that's filled the imbalance that we wanted to. So that's imbalance. Pardon me, and it's in and around a point of interest that we've found that we like the look of. Once you put all that together, like I say, you can end up with this sort of trade, which is, pardon me, obviously it went all the way down here to there. This is maximum, and like taking the maximum's never the overall goal because we don't always know where that is. But obviously you've got the opportunity of 100 and just shy of 130 fold.
Yeah. Well, if you're doing a 1 in 4, yeah, and it's working.
Yeah. So yeah, but like that's at 1 to 129. So
Yeah, but you won't run those trades every day.
oh no, not every day, no, but like
But yeah, it's
these
always
trades
that
do it.
possibility.
Yeah, I mean that is quite a high number, but like I can post these sort of trades like 1 to 60s, 1 to 80s every week. Like it's just structure, imbalance fills, liquidities, and then obviously throwing in there a point of interest for where you want it to sort of happen once you get
Yeah.
it all understood, So
So that's across 30 days, give or take, maybe a bit more.
uh,
Sorry, where you've got the first that last trend lower low,
yeah,
just below your cursor.
yeah,
So it goes up and then
yeah,
it comes back down.
yeah,
To
yeah. So
that's kind of sort of how long it takes to come down below that last one and take that out.
so it takes out there. So yeah, about 30, just shy of 30 days, 28.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how long? And then you've got the trade. If you were to trade from there, where you've got marked out in your box, what's that?
So just
7
shy of 8
days.
days. Yeah.
So what are the sort of, you said you more bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Your trades days, or you've moved
Uh,
towards.
it's so from what I would say for this bait is when you sort of start to figure out what you're starting to trade and how you're starting to trade. So I would say to journal. So you need to be writing down. So
Yeah, I've got my book.
good man, good man. Love to hear it. So let's say you start figuring out what you're doing. You would then go back on TradingView and basically scroll back in time and then start marking up all the trades that meet all your rules that you've sort of acquired and learned. So for me, it's obviously I want a major imbalance fill, I want a liquidity sweep on a certain time frame, whatever, blah blah blah, break a structure. And you should effectively write down and take pictures and things of all these trades that meet all your rules. At the same time, though, you should be breaking them down and like looking at them on, say, different time frames to see if you can see a certain type of candle or do you know, so you can start seeing the same thing. Like if you screenshot say 100 trades and they've all got the same process, the same thing. If you say, like, say 50% of them won and 50% of them lost, because obviously you should still journal even if they lose.
Yeah.
If all your winners had say a 15-minute breaker structure in it instead of just the one, you would then go, right, I need to drop the 1 minute and just hold out for the 15. So you would improve your strategy that way by journaling. So, but you would add data to then change it down the line and things. So it evolves, if you like.
Yeah.
So journaling is massively important. I mean, we're talking like a year or so ago now. I think I had close to 9,000 screenshots.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've that was between my phone and my tablet. So I trade from my tablet.
Yeah.
So I deleted them all off the tablet because I actually ran out. Um, so yeah, that's. Oh,
No, that's great. Appreciate that.
no worries, mate. All right.
Yeah, it should be good now. I might try a couple of markups
Yeah.
like over the next few days and throw them up on the Discord for some
Yeah.
opinions.
Well, obviously, I'm the supply and demand educator, mate. So if you sling them in there, or even if you don't feel comfortable putting them in there, send me a direct message in there or whatever.
Yeah, no worries.
I'd rather you post them in the group if you can, but
Yeah, look, we're here to learn. Like, you know, if you're
yeah,
not
yeah,
getting any,
but,
if like the same as the trading, you're not
yeah.
always going to win.
No,
If
no,
you know if someone's not picking you for your
yeah,
failed markings,
yeah.
you're probably not really learning.
No. So I mean, there's some. I mean, the majority of the people sort of hang around in the supply and the F, FVG chat. But there's some other real good traders in the supply chat anyway. So even if if I'm busy and I can't respond for an hour or so, some of the
Yeah,
other lads will pick up and give great advice as well. So
for sure.
I'll definitely push you towards my sort of section, I guess. But obviously
Yeah,
it's
no,
up to you if you want to do that or not. I don't know. It's up to you, obviously. But
whatever's going to make me learn, man. I'm
yeah,
not fussy.
yeah, good man. Yeah. So yeah, I'll push you that way, mate. All right.
Sounds good. I'm done.
Beautiful, mate. I'll speak to you in the next few days, hopefully. All right.
Talk to you then. Thank
Cheers,
you.
mate. Bye bye.